Test, 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 test. Testing, testing, testing. 111, testing, testing. So that's good for me. Good evening, baseball fans, American and Canadian. The Cross Ferry rivalry is set to ignite once again for the 6th season as the Port Angeles Lefties play host to the Victoria Harbour Cats. Griff, the Lefties are coming off a thriller. They scored 9 runs in the 7th inning yesterday to defeat the Drifters in come-from-behind fashion. They're looking to win back-to-back games for the first time this season. On the other hand, you have the Harbour Cats. They swept the North Paws and the Sweets at home to open their season. Then they ran into trouble in Wenatchee when they hit the road for the first time, where they were swept at the hands of the Apple Sox. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Griff McClellan. Another beautiful day for baseball, Griff.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. And you said it best. The Victoria Harbour Cats began their season in the most ideal fashion possible, going 6-0, looking unbeatable, looking like the best team in the West Coast League. They've hit a little landslide the past 3 days against the Apple Sox, which have all been winnable games. They've been scores of 3-1, 8-9, 13-6. They're putting up runs, and they're keeping it close. We'll see how they can rebound against the Lefties this afternoon.
Well, they came across the ferry today. Beautiful view out there. We're about to get started. Nelson Smith will draw the start for the Lefties. This will be his third game of the season, second start overall. He got hit around in Bend a week ago. Then Friday night, threw a couple good scoreless innings in relief and that thriller against the Drifters for our home opener. Nick Dumaniel will be digging in. We'll take a look at the rest of the lineup. He'll be followed by Tyrus Hall. Jack Johnson will hit third. Tyler Davis is the cleanup hitter, followed by Harrison Cayley. Kyle Hepburn will hit sixth. Braden Kesey's the seventh hitter. Michael Crossland will bat eighth. And Brandon Green will round out the order for the Victoria Harbour Cats. First pitch is taken for a strike on the outside corner. 6:37 Pacific Standard Time. 68 degrees, ladies and gentlemen. A light breeze. Well, the wind's picking up a little bit out of the west. It's outside 1-1 the count. Dumaniel has been fantastic to start the year for this Harbour Cats team as he's ahead in the count 2-1. He leads the entire West Coast League with 8 stolen bases, leads the team in hits with 11, also tied for the team lead in RBIs with 11. That ball's back towards the middle. That'll get into center field for a base hit. Dumaniel continues his hot start as he leads off the ballgame with a single.
Right off the bat, Victoria looking to strike early. And you said it best, Dumaniel, the power hitter of this team, the designated hitter, leading the league in stolen bases. That's how this team thrives. We expect to see a lot of stolen bases, maybe drawing some walks with their patience. That could generate some power for this squad tonight.
Tyrus Hall will dig in. He's hitting .316 to start the year. No extra base hits, no RBIs to his credit. He shows bunt and takes outside. Well, the Lefties had some good practice during their home opening weekend with dealing with bunt plays. Drifters love to play small ball. MJ Kim now playing just a step behind the grass, couple steps front of the third base back. There goes Dumaniel. Pitch is taken low, and it gets away from Adams. Another stolen base for Dumaniel, his 9th of the season.
Dumaniel and the Harbour Cats making their presence felt early, just like that. A couple pitches into the game, we're already seeing our first stolen base.
And this is a Harbour Cats team who likes to run. Their first 9 games, already 6 guys with at least 3 stolen bases. And an opportunity for them to manufacture a run. 2-0 from Smith. High bounce over the third. And it gets under the glove of Kim, and it kicks away into foul territory. So Tyrus Hall will reach on the error. Dumaniel has to hold up at second base.
Not an ideal start for Nelson Smith and this Lefties infield. Already an error, a stolen base given up, and the Harbour Cats looking to extend and get back in the winning column.
It's a difficult play all the way around. It's one of those you have to decide whether you hang back and get on the big hop or you charge in and try on the short hop. They'll bring up Jack Johnson. He shows bunt and bunts it foul. Goodness, we saw throughout the weekend bunt attempts from the cleanup hitter, and now you have Jack Johnson, who's starting the year hitting .333 with 10 RBIs. He showed bunt. Some old school style baseball in the West Coast League, at least from what we've seen so far. Lefties look to turn 2, men on first and second, nobody out to open the ball game. Another long look from Smith. At 0-1, that's taken on the outside corner. Johnson does not square. Well, he'll be swinging this time behind 0-2. Smith deals. The runners do go at that sprayed foul. Boy, you have a guy like Dumeniil at second base. All sorts of speed, all sorts of base stealing abilities. Just a guy that creates havoc out there.
He does, and Johnson looking to respond by doing the exact same thing. With a runner in scoring position already, still nobody out.
Here's the 0-2 again. That ball's on the ground, right side. It's going to leak in the right field for a base hit. Also up to get it. Dumeniil's being waved home. The throw's going to go to third. It's not going to be in time as Hall went in standing up. RBI single, Jack Johnson. It's 1-0 Harbor Cats.
Dumeniil showing why he is making his case for a superstar, being able to score standing up with nobody out and immediately lead his team with such charge going into this game. And great patience shown by Johnson at the plate, too, waiting for the right pitch down the middle, squeaking a base hit.
It is a good piece of hitting. 11th RBI of the season for Johnson to tie Dumeniil for the team lead. That brings up Tyler Davis. He gets to start at first, and he works ahead 1-0. Boy, another spectacular day on the Olympic Peninsula. First couple home games, a lot of clouds, kind of dreary, of course, with the suspended game on Friday night. Now the foothills of Olympic National Park perfectly in view. That's over to Kim again. He's going to go to second base for 1. They'll get the out there. Hall comes across the plate. A little surprised that Kim chose to go to second for the out, because it looked like he had a chance to get Hall at the plate. Hall ended up turning around to look to see what was going on. I think he thought he was going to be a dead duck. So it's 2-0 Harbor Cats with 1 out and a man at first in Davis.
An odd choice indeed by Kim and Nunez, but they'll take it. It's a much-needed out. However, they gave up a run.
Let's see if Smith can settle in. That's a good fastball in the inner half, 0-1. Nelson Smith, a 6'7", 230-pound right-handed pitcher out of Miami, Florida, pitching for Arkansas, for the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. High bounce over the first, and it's going to get over the head of Ethan Young for a base hit. Davis is on his way to third. The throw comes in the second. A major break. Ball chopped. A high bouncer just right over Young's head. Nothing he could have done about it.
Exactly right. He had no chance at that. It was just perfectly placed, took a perfect bounce for the Harbor Cats, and Young just has a little height advantage. He just couldn't get that one. That was a perfectly placed ball, no other way to put it, and the Harbor Cats continuing to add some runs.
And it brings up the catcher, Kyle Hepburn. Limited at bats for him. He's 2 for 2. And that first pitch is taken outside. So an opportunity for Hepburn. First and third, 1 out. The lefties will look to turn 2 up the middle. The shortstop Flores is playing a little more to pull. And Young holding the runner on at first. Outside 2-0.
Hepburn looking to contribute as well in this early onslaught of runs from the Harbor Cats. A freshman coming from Johnson Community College looking to make a name for himself, Kyle Hepburn.
Smith gets his sign, working out of the stretch. Here's his 2-0. Curveball, that's on the outside corner for a strike. Braden Kesey waiting on deck. Michael Crossland in the hold. The right fielder, Owen Alsop, the deepest of all 3 outfielders. Here's the 2-1. Curveball, that one's outside, 3-1. you got to be careful here if you're Smith. You don't want to groove a ball to Hepburn necessarily, even behind 3-1.
Got to just take it out in any way you can without allowing any further damage.
Here's a 3-1. The runner goes. The pitch is taken outside. It'll load the bases with 1 out.
The line keeps moving for the Harbour Cats. Another man on first as we are now witnessing a mini mound visit for Nelson Smith.
Yeah, here comes the pitching coach, Ian Turner. You have to do this right here. This is a dangerous position for Smith. This is similar to what happened in Bend somewhat, going 2 innings, allowing 10 earned runs. You need innings out of him, but you also need to work out of this first just to keep the lefties in it.
It's not a good sign for the lefties as catcher Adams and Smith just have a little word. Just trying to calm him down, calm the fans down. It's still early. It's 2-0, but not looking good as the Harbour Cats are back in business.
Well, it brings up a dangerous 7-hitter in Braden Kesey. 7 for 21 to start the season, a couple triples, 4 RBIs to his credit. Well, he has 2 or 3 more potential RBIs waiting out there for him. Big swing and a miss, 0-1. That's a good sign that Smith's able to get a fastball in on his hands. Left fielder Cam Kuster not playing all that deep. Here's the 0-1. Curveball, that stays high. Slightly bigger leg kick that time from Smith. Saw earlier this inning, lifting it ever so slightly and then just putting it right back down. Lefty's still looking to turn 2. The corners are playing even with the bags. 1-1. Little outside. Adams wanted it. It was close.
Close, but if you're the lefties, you need to expect Smith to start throwing some heat here. Just throw some fastballs down the middle.
Now the center fielder, Jacob Billings, moves back a little bit and over towards the left center field alleyway. Check swing, doesn't matter. Call the strike, 2-2 the count. If you're Smith, you need a punch out. A lineup with all sorts of speed. Could be difficult to turn a double play.
There is a little gap between shortstop and second. Kesey looking for perhaps a hit up the middle.
That's inside, 3-2 the count. Nowhere to put him. Bases loaded, 1 out. Harbour Cats leading 2-0 to open the ball game. He comes set. Here's the payoff. That's way outside ball 4. It's going to force in a run. Davis will cross the plate. Cayley up to third. Hepburn to second.
And Sam Adams makes a great snag to avoid a wild pitch. A trend we've noticed early on in this season for the lefties. A handful of wild pitches thrown. They save one there, but regardless, the Harbour Cats are able to find another creative way to tack a run on.
Well, it brings up the 8th man, Michael Crossland. Base is still low. That one's way outside again.
We said it earlier. There's no other way to put it. This team utilizes small ball. They lead the league in stolen bases, and they just manufacture runs, and they keep the line coming.
Yeah, not a whole lot of extra bases for a team like this. They come in hitting 281 as that's upstairs 2-0. You know, the team with as much firepower offensively, you'd expect to see, I was expecting to see more extra base hits to their ledger. But we're seeing right now, putting the ball in play, just getting it to the opposite field and working the count. Here's the 2-0. That one's in the air down the right field line, towards the line. That's going to be a fair ball. 2 runs are going to come across to score. Our 2-run single for Michael Crossland. And it's now 5-0 Harbour Cats.
Just a lucky bounce for the Harbour Cats, able to keep it in fair territory, allowing 2 more runs. Still another runner in scoring position, as Crossland is able to reach first 2. We're now at the bottom of the order. The 9-man is coming up to bat with still only 1 out. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, the Harbour Cats have batted around. It is the 9th man, Brandon Green, batting with men on first and second with 1 out. He takes the first pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Green not happy with that call. And there's some action in the Lefties bullpen right now. I mean, you almost have no choice. You want to get innings out of Smith, but you can't have it get away from you too much.
No, at this rate, bullpen activity is inevitable early on.
There goes the runners. They're going to throw down to third. Out is the call at third base. Great throw from Adams. We've seen him throw really well early on. This one to nab Brandon Kesey.
A great quick reaction from Adams, expecting another stolen base, as we've said, a common theme for this upcoming series, as he's able to provide some breathing room for this Lefties squad, now with 2 outs.
It's an important second out. Here's the 0-2 pitch, outside, 1-2. Smith trying to stop the bleeding. He's allowed 5 runs to open the game. Crossland still at second base. The 1-2 pitch, slow bounce up the third base line, foul.
If you're Nelson Smith, what is going through your mind right now? Just get me out of this inning.
It's a difficult thing. Obviously, the Lefties just got punched in the mouth, but you have to stop the bleeding. It's a long game. You have 9 innings. You came back down 6-1 in the 7th inning just a day ago. You have a lot of time to battle back. That one's a line. That's going to get into right field for a base hit. Alsop over to get it. Crossland's around third. The ball gets away from Alsop. So that allows a run to score and Green to get up to second base. RBI single for him.
In earlier broadcasts, Evan, we've mentioned the lefties struggling to execute with runners in scoring position. But last night showing they have successfully been able to reverse the curse by coming back from a 5-run deficit, already in a larger deficit in the top of the first inning. A very different story this afternoon as the score is 6-0 Victoria with 2 outs in the top of the first as we have another mound visit.
Yeah, Turner's back out, and we are going to have a pitching change. We'll be back in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, with a new pitcher coming in, with the Lefties trailing 6-0 with 2 outs in the first. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So here's where we stand. It's 6-0 Harbour Cats in the top of the first inning. There's 2 outs, and Brandon Green's over at second base. New pitcher for the Lefties. What just happened here? Wow, a balk has just been called against Shea Blanchard. That's something you almost never see. First pitch coming into a game, and you have a balk. So puts a runner on third base now. Blanchard, an incoming freshman to Hawaii Pacific University out of Laguna Beach, California. So he inherits a runner at third base, and his first pitch is a strike. Nick Dumanil batting for the second time this inning. He's the designated hitter tonight. He singled to open things up, stole a base. League-leading 9 stolen base, outside 1-1 the count, and he came around to score the first run.
Shea Blanchard, an incoming freshman out of Laguna Beach, California, currently attending Hawaii Pacific University, showing a little nerve out there, just looking to keep his team from preventing any more runs from scoring early in this ballgame.
Little inside, 2-1. Second baseman Nunez playing him a little further towards the hole on the right side and a couple steps into the outfield grass. Trying to make that adjustment from his first at bat. That one's popped foul, 2-2. Well, talk about a big advantage for the Harbour Cats starting pitcher Sam Jordan. You don't often start a game with a 6-0 lead.
No, he's got so much breathing room in front of him. He's got this entire game to work with, and he will feel very comfortable going into this ball game.
Here's the 2-2. High 3-2. Dumanil got to start with a base hit. Hall reached on an error by M.J. Kim at third. Johnson had an RBI single. Davis reached on a fielder's choice for an out. Cayley singled. That 3-2 pitch hit a mile high into left field. Kuster looks like he has a beat on it. As he comes jogging in, he's able to put away to finally retire the side. The Harbour Cats send 10 men to the plate to open the game in the first inning. They lead 6-0. We'll be back to introduce the starting pitcher Sam Jordan for the Harbour Cats and see the Lefties take their first swings. Welcome back to the bottom of the first inning, ladies and gentlemen, at Civic Field. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Griff McClellan. Sam Jordan will draw the start for the Harbour Cats. He's staked to a 6-0 lead. Let's take a look at the Lefties starting lineup. It'll be Roberto Nunez leading off. He's red hot. Followed by Barrett Rose. Owen Alsop will hit third. He had a nice double yesterday. Ethan Young, he's looking to get going, hitting cleanup. Sam Adams, the catcher, got the day off yesterday. He'll bat fifth. Cam Kuster hits sixth. Followed by Jacob Billings as the seventh man. MJ Kim will bat eighth. Sebastian Flores, playing for the third straight day for B.Y. Choi, will round out the order, hitting ninth. First pitch to Nunez, taking outside ball one. Jordan entering his second season out of Victoria, British Columbia. That pitch is down low, 2-0 the count. Thompson River College, a 6'3" right-hander, 185 pounds. I mean, Griff, what's the mindset? You're staked to a 6-0 lead. You had a long time to sit down, too.
He's well rested. He's ready to go for this ball game. Obviously, having a 6-0 advantage in the first inning is not something you see every day. He's feeling great right now. Sam Jordan has a bunch of breathing room, as we mentioned, but he has to remember this game is far from over, too.
The count evens up 2-2. Nunez out of Salinas, California. He leads the Lefties with 12 RBIs. Also leads the team with hits. Stolen base to his credit. So he's batting well over 400. So that one's hit foul over the grandstands. And look, this kind of situation, you have a lot of time. Don't try to get it all back at once. Just try and chip away. I know, of course, they had 9 runs in the 7th inning yesterday. That's not going to happen very often by any means. At 2-2 pitch, it's softly out to second base. Brandon Green stays down on it in time for the first out.
The Lefties have a tendency to start these games pretty slowly, but they showed yesterday that they're never out of a game. They can come back late when it matters most. They came back to take the lead in a wild 7th inning, and in their home opener, they came back to tie the game in the 9th. We've seen it before. They have a long, long race ahead, but they could potentially make some noise as we proceed to the later innings of this ball game.
Of course, it's not a long-term formula. Try and work your way back in every game. You need to score first some of the time. Barrett Rose takes a fastball at the knees. He gets to start as a designated hitter tonight. Out of Stephen F. Austin University, transferred initially from Northern Oklahoma College in Tunkawah. That ball's ripped in the right center field. That's going to get down. The center fielder Crossland over to get it. It's a big turn from Rose. He'll hold up there. A good swing from him.
First pitch swinging, just looking to desperately get the Lefties on base somehow just by putting it in play early.
A really good piece of hitting, too. Going down with the pitch. It was down in the strike zone. We've seen with some of these Lefties hitters kind of pull off those pitches down and away from them, and that leads to a swing and miss or even a ground ball to the right side. But when you're able to go down with it and kind of dig it out from down in the zone, you can hit it hard. A good swing from Alsop as he fouls it back. Alsop out of Roswell, New Mexico. Played the previous 2 seasons at the New Mexico Military Institute. Hitting .211 in the early goings, 3 doubles, a couple RBIs. Here's the 0-1. Outside 1-1.
And Rose had a lead from first base. He was looking to perhaps steal, then retreated back.
Well, if you're going to go down 6-0, you better be certain you're going to make it.
At this point, if you're the Lefties, you have to be willing to take those risks.
Outside 2-1 the count. Yeah, base runners are the most important thing, my friend. You can't afford to run into an out. You're down 6-0. Definitely can't afford to have that.
You can't waste any outs by any means. You have to find ways to, again, put the ball in play, and just by making contact and eventually setting up runners in scoring position.
2-2 the count. So the Harbour Cats looking to turn 2. Rose over at first after singling a moment ago. Trailing the Harbour Cats 6-0. Boy, an unbelievable evening for baseball, though. This is as good as it gets. Here's the 2-2. Rose started and stopped. The pitch is taken high.
And Hepburn was looking to throw to first with Rose having another lead as Rose had to quickly come back to first.
Yeah, Hepburn had an opportunity right there, especially with Rose kind of caught in the middle. Shorter lead this time for Barrett. With a 3-2 count, he runs this time. Well, he started and stopped. The pitch is taken outside. I have no idea what Rose was doing right there. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
He was looking to steal again. It's on his mind the last 3 or 4 pitches. And again, Hepburn hesitating. This time, Alsop able to draw a walk. But Hepburn keeping his awareness up, looking to potentially get some runners out.
Well, it's a good at bat from Alsop and a major break for Rose. If that pitch happened to be a strike, he would have been caught in a rundown. But anyway, brings up the cleanup man, Ethan Young. Dining with men on first and second, 1 out. Harbour Cats look to turn 2. That first pitch a little outside, 1-0. Well, Looked like a little bit of a slider. It didn't look like it slid all that much.
It didn't. That's a great take by Young, just remaining patient and looking to find the best pitch possible to wait and swing at.
Big swing and a miss, 1-1. So Sam Jordan now trying to work out of a gem of his own. Ethan Young out of Lake Hopatcong, New Jersey, attending school at Lafayette College. It's my younger brother's alma mater. He graduated a year ago from there. Good school. Straight back, 1-2. As the ball ricochets around right in front of the Harbour Cats dugout.
That was aiming straight for us, thanks to the fence. It didn't. That came right out. That was heading for the home plate seats.
You know, there are certain fields, Griff, where you could get a ball up to you in the press box. This is not one of them. If we get a ball into us, then we would need a couple things to break.
That's a 1 in a million kind of hit.
That ball's lofted foul down the left field line over towards the party deck.
And not much to party about, not much to really celebrate early on. We'll see if they can make a difference going forward.
So 1-2 the count, 1 out, Ethan Young at the plate. Longer looking this time from Jordan. Well, now he gets his sign. He checks the runner at second once, and he'll deal. Popped up. The left side, foul territory, and it's out of play. So a bit of a battle from Young. Fouling off a couple two-strike pitches.
A great pitcher-batter duel right now. Young just finding ways to stay alive and keep this inning going. And keep chipping away, just limiting damage and keeping this team relevant.
Here's the 1-2 again. Just barely got a piece of it. Jordan had Young way out in front of a changeup.
Young swung at that quite early, showing great ambition, just looking to draw some kind of a 1-out hit.
Let's see if Young's able to time one up. There's all sorts of room on the right side of the infield. Young is a dead pull hitter. You have the second baseman Green pinched towards the bag. Davis is playing behind Alsop at first. Here's the 1-2 again. Way outside, 2-2. Great at bat from Young. I mean, look, a base hit here, you're able to play the run. You're feeling pretty good if you're the lefties about trying to get back into this.
Young is hanging in there. He certainly is keeping this inning alive.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Going with a fastball right down the chute. Young not able to catch up.
A great battle from Young, but unable to capitalize as the lefties still have runners on first and second.
It brings up Sam Adams. He's 3 for 15 with a couple doubles, an RBI to his credit. He had a well-deserved day off yesterday. He's been big back there, dealing with his pitching staff and controlling the run game. He's behind 0-1 on a good fastball. Rose at second. He singled with 1 out. Alsop at first after walking. Lefties trying to answer back, at least to some degree, trailing 6-0 in the bottom of the first. Adams is behind 0-2.
And Adams bringing a little experience to this team. A rising senior at Stephen F. Austin in Fort Worth, Texas, looking to make his impact in Port Angeles this summer.
Definitely a change of scenery going from Texas up to the Olympic Peninsula in Washington.
Oh, without a doubt, simply put.
That ball's lined in the right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Rose is around third. He's going to come home. The throw's coming to the plate. Safe is the call at home plate. Wow. That was bang, bang. The catcher, Hepburn, could not believe it. I didn't think Harrison Cayley had any chance to throw Rose out at the plate. Goodness, he came up firing. The throw came in on a fly, and safe is the call. It's now 6-1 Harbour Cats. Oh, the lefty's able to strike back. I couldn't believe. Can you believe that throw from Cayley?
That was an unbelievable throw from Kaylee and a great handle from Hepburn. That throw beat the runner, and Hepburn just unable to lower the glove in time to tag out the runner, but it works in the lefties' favor.
Well, the lefties will gladly take it. Owen Alsop remains at second base. It'll be Cam Kuster. A good curveball. We've seen that curveball a lot already from Jordan. Going towards the outer part of the plate to the right-handed batters.
And Kuster looking to take advantage. Has 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases on the season. Looking to add another big hit here when it matters most. Early stages of this game.
That time a fastball in a similar spot. Looks like that borderline outside pitch to righties is going to be wide open tonight. So Kuster quickly behind 0-2. Men on first and second, 2 outs. Curveball misses 1-2. That's a good sign from the lefties. Able to answer back, just try and chip away. And if you can get a few clean innings out of Blanchard, then you're feeling okay about things. 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. Kuster goes down swinging, that retires the side. Lefties able to answer back. They now trail 6-1, and they leave a couple in their half of the first. We're through one full 6-1 Harbor Cats, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Griff McClellan. 2-3-4 coming up for the Harbor Cats. It'll be Hall, Johnson, and Davis. Shea Blanchard came on with 2 outs in the first just to stop the bleeding. And showing bunt is Hall. It's up the first base line. Nobody's covering first. It's going to be a base hit. Perfect bunt. It forced Young to come in from first. Blanchard ended up going over. Nowhere near enough time for Nunez to cover from the second base position. And Hall's aboard with a hit. So he's 1 for 2.
Hall could not have placed a more perfect bunt than that, taking advantage of the empty first base and beating both.
He got a great running start, too. That's exactly how you want to push a bunt.
Able to beat Blanchard and Young to reach first safely. And the Harbor Cats looking to add some more early runs. I'm not ready to say insurance yet.
Well, Jack Johnson's ahead 1-0. RBI single for him as he fouls that one, 1-1. But we do have an answer about something from yesterday. We did promise everybody about the bottom of the 7th inning, exactly how long it took. 31 minutes, 18 seconds is what I counted earlier. There goes the runner. Pitch is taken in the dirt. Adams can't find it. Now he's able to locate the ball a little bit up the third base line. Stolen base for Tyrus Hall.
Early on, these Harbor Cats have mastered the art of taking advantage of pitches such as this in the dirt, finding ways to advance into scoring position.
But anyway, Griff, so 9 runs scored for the Lefties yesterday in the 7th. They sent 13 men to the plate over 31 minutes. All the pitching changes everything. There goes the runner again. It's hit foul. I mean, Griff, that was a long inning, wasn't it, my friend?
It sure was, and it turned that whole game around.
It was very enjoyable, but that took a while. It was already a pretty slow-paced game. There's tons of base runners early on, a lot of time between pitches, even with the 20-second pitch clock being enforced. Hall with a huge lead at second, way outside 3-2.
You're right. It was a game-changing inning lasting over half an hour. It's not something you see all the time. But what's even more rare is to see it on back-to-back occasions. The Lefties will need something very similar this afternoon, trailing in the exact same deficit of 6-1 as they did yesterday in the 7th inning.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is a familiar line at the moment. Ball's on the ground to third. Kim's able to knock it down. He fires it across the diamond. It's off the bag. Young going to get it. Up to third goes Hall. We'll see what that scored.
They keep coming for the Harbor Cats.
It looks like it'll go down as a base hit. So Johnson's 2 for 2. Puts men on first and third with 1 out. Or excuse me, nobody out. So it brings up Tyler Davis. Owen won the count on a foul ball. Davis reached on a fielder's choice and drove in a run back in the first. Another RBI chance for Davis. Middle infield playing halfway for the Lefties. That's high, 1-1. Let's take a moment to check out the Lefties in the field. It's MJ Kim at third. Sebastian Flores playing for the third straight day for BY Choi since San Diego for a Major League Scout camp. Roberto Nunez at second, Ethan Young at first. Sam Adams is behind the plate. So that one's popped up. Foul territory to the left side. Kim is over, and he's going to run out of room. So that one goes right into the netting, through the netting actually, and into some empty seats. There's a young man going after that ball. Oh, he's got his work boots on and everything. Oh, wow, the older gentleman picked the ball up. He did not give it to the kid. Oh, my.
A questionable call there. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Jeez, when you that's usually common practice when you give it to the kid.
It's an unwritten rule that you give the kid who loves baseball, looking to perhaps pursue a Little League career eventually.
Yeah, that youngster even has his work boots on and everything. Lefty's hat, Lefty's sweatshirt. As the runner goes, the pitch is hit foul.
I remember.
Look, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he has some kids or grandkids back home. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
We're not sure. You might be right. Just thinking nostalgically, I remember as a kid, if I were at a ballpark and I got a foul ball my way, I would be thrilled. That would just make my day. And it would have been really upsetting, at least for me, if someone else took it from me.
I mean, look, obviously he doesn't have to give it to the kid. It's just what you're used to seeing. Anyway, 2-2 the count, no outs, first and third. Harbor Cats leading 6-1. That ball is lifted high in the air to left center field. It chases Billings back. He's still going back. He makes over his shoulder catch as he bangs into the fence. Tagging up is Hall. He'll come across to score. Tremendous play, though, by Billings. That ball just jumped off the bat of Tyler Davis.
An incredible effort from Billings indeed, and crashing into the wall to collect the pivotal, the important first out of this inning. But again, the Harbor Cats looking to take advantage of a high fly ball like that and able to score on a sacrifice fly.
At the moment, there's no movement on the flags out in right field. This is the night where the ball does fly to left field. That's generally how it is on a sunny day with no wind. 0-1 the count to Caley. He singled back in the first.
It is quite a stunning inning. We can't forget to mention the shadow, especially over in right field, completely covered. As well as the dirt between first and second base. As a pickoff attempt is unsuccessful.
Yeah, that's a good point. We are going to get a chance to see what kind of effect the shadows have, especially the first couple night games, it being pretty cloudy. Up and away, 1-1.
And you're right about today's beauty. In back-to-back days, such sunny weather, a beautiful time of year to be up here in Port Angeles, Washington. The mountains in the background fully visible this afternoon.
That ball's off the hands and fouled into the screen. I mean, this is opponent offense from the Harbour Cats. But I mentioned earlier their lack of extra base hits.
That's rare to see these days in baseball. A lot of teams liking to utilize some high fly balls, maybe some home runs or some extra base hits. That's not what you see with these Harbour Cats. They are a lethal offense because of their ability to play the small ball game.
So 1-2 count, 1 out. Jack Johnson at first base. You definitely need some innings out of Blanchard. And pretty good battle by Caley. A lot of foul balls from this Harbour Cats lineup. Way upstairs, 2-2.
You will need some productivity going forward for at least the next few innings from Shea Blanchard. So far, not a terrible start. But still, the Harbour Cats finding another way to capitalize and add some more runs.
Low 3-2 the count. This is our first time seeing Blanchard this season, so he's well rested. Another lengthy inning as the Harbour Cats able to get Sam Jordan another little bit of run support. That's high, ball 4. Puts men on first and second.
You mentioned it. It's another lengthy inning. It is currently 7:23 p.m. This game started almost exactly an hour ago. We're only in the second inning.
Yeah, that's a good point, Griff. And goodness, we saw opening night. What was it? We got through about 8 innings in about under 2 hours. It was something crazy like that.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't tell you the exact time it took until we reached that wild end of the 9th inning and eventually the suspension in the 11th. But a very different environment and team this afternoon. Blanchard getting set, now looking to deal on a 1-0 count.
He checks the runner once. That ball's hit foul up into the screen. Hepburn walked and came around to score back in the first inning. Part of that 6-run frame to open the ball game.
Hepburn making a great impact early on, both behind the plate and now making his second plate appearance as he takes that one low inside and into the dirt. Blanchard just looking to, again, provide minimal damage and keep this game within reasonable reach for these lefties.
So 2-1 the count. Chance for the lefties to turn a double play. Nunez trying to keep the runner close at second. Check swing, and it's called low.
And great discipline by Hepburn to not chase that.
So 3-1 the count. Here's a pitch from Blanchard, and that's a little low, ball 4. So that'll load the bases with 1 out. This is a really dangerous spot for the lefties.
Absolutely. It's deja vu already in this game following the first inning as Hepburn's able to draw his second consecutive walk tonight.
So it brings up Kesey. He was able to draw a walk. He was left at second base in that first inning. Ended up being caught stealing later on. That ball's through the hole on the left side for a base hit. One run's going to score. Kaylee's going to be held at third. Good strong throw from Kuster into the cutoff man. It's now 8-1 Harbor Cats. RBI for Kesey on the play.
At bat, the center fielder, number 10, Michael Crossland.
So I'll bring up Michael Crossland. He recorded an RBI single back in that first inning. And the Harbor Cats might be in a position to really put the lefties away early. Way outside ball one.
We said at the start of this top half of the inning, Blanchard looking to provide some breathing room for the lefties. Instead, it's the same issue over again.
Swung on and missed, 1-1 the count. And again, just not a whole lot. It's not these big extra base hits that we're seeing from the Harbor Cats lineup, but it's a lot of solid contact, spraying the ball all over the field, making it tough on the lefties' defense. We have seen a couple miscues. Breaking ball high, 2-1. I mean, this is just really, this is how you would teach a kid about hitting. Just good, fundamental, hit to all fields, and not trying to do too much. And especially when you have these kind of athletes, take advantage of the speed. Popped up, foul, 2-2.
These back-to-back nightmare innings are continuing for the lefties because the Harbor Cats are lethal because of their ability to play small ball, as we've mentioned. And it's really difficult to stop. They do it so well. As Blanchard gets set, waits, now throws.
That ball's popped up. Short center field. Billings comes running in. The shortstop Flores going out. Infield fly is called as Flores makes the grab. Kaylee thought about tagging just for a moment. So 2 outs now and the base is loaded.
Haley thought about tagging, just didn't have enough space. He would have been thrown out at home.
At bat, the second baseman.
So it brings up the 9-man Brandon Green, the 8th man to bat this inning, after the Harbor Cats sent 10 men to the plate in the first. Just talk about an offensive onslaught.
It's odd to say this at this stage in the game with this situation, but with the bases loaded, if you can record an out here, that's considered a win for Blanchard.
High 1-0. I mean, at this point, no matter what the score is, you have to complete 9 innings if you're the lefties, no matter how it goes. So you got to do all you can to try and preserve arms, but certain guys, you're going to need innings. 1-1 the count.
And Tyrus Hall, the second man in the lineup, opened this inning. Now we're already in the 9 spot with Brandon Green with his second plate appearance. We could see back-to-back innings with every player in the lineup bat. How rare is that?
And there is action once again in the lefties' bullpen.
At this rate, the lefties are in for a long night.
So Kaylee at third, Hepburn at second, Kesey at first. On the outside corner, 2-2. So 2-2 the count. Bases loaded to Brandon Green. Harbor Cats leading 8-1. Blanchard trying to stop the bleeding. That ball's through the middle. That's going to leak into center field for a base hit. Hepburn's being waved around third. The throw comes in one hop to the plate. Out is the call at home plate. Strong throw from Jacob Billings. Kyle Hepburn can't believe the call. He thought he got his foot in, so that retires the side in the second.
Hepburn involved in 2 close plays at the plate. One as the catcher behind the plate, one as the runner now. And Hepburn can't believe it. He thought he beat that.
Well, 3 runs regardless come across the score for the Harbor Cats. 9-1 through 1.5. We'll be back in just a moment, everybody. Bottom of the order coming up for the Lefties in their half of the second innings. They trail the Harbour Cats 9-1. It'll be Jacob Billings, MJ Kim, and Sebastian Flores. Lefties were able to get a run on the board in their half of the first, as that ball is ripped foul deep down the left field line.
The Lefties looking for any way to be aggressive here, down 9-1. This is their largest early deficit in the first 2 innings we've seen this season.
So Jacob Billings 2 for 13 to start the year. He's been hit by 3 pitches already. That leads the Lefties. He's going to be a freshman at Chaffee College. He's behind 0-2 though. Well, Sam Jordan out on the mound. You got to feel pretty good with a 9-1 lead.
Absolutely. Has even more breathing room this time. Up 6-0 in the first, now with an 8-run cushion.
He works out of the windup. Here's his 0-2 pitch. Way upstairs, 1-2. Good fastball that time.
A great fastball upstairs. Indeed.
So Billings trying to work his way on. That 1-2 pitch hit a mile high out to left. It's fairly deep. It draws Tyrusol back to the wall. Goodbye, home run. Boy, that ball just jumped off the bat of Jacob Billings. I didn't quite think he had all of it, but boy, that ball did get out by plenty. Solo home run for him, his first of the season. It's now 9-2 Harbour Cats. But boy, that was a moonshot.
And the Lefties' first home run of the season. With a leadoff man in the inning hitting a home run, that is an ideal start for this Lefties squad. Only good for 1 run, solo shot, but hey, it could be the spark of something interesting brewing right now.
I mean, yeah, once again, it was 6-1 going into the 7th inning yesterday. 9 runs later, the script got completely flipped. It's still early. It's nobody out in the 2nd inning. A lot can happen. There's plenty of room to chip away.
Indeed, Evan. Any baseball fan or athlete knows this game is far from over. Anything can change quickly.
MJ Kim behind 0-1. He's 2 for 12 with a double to start his season. And he's behind 0-2 on a good breaking ball.
MJ Kim looking to respond by hitting another deep ball. Looking to answer Jacob Billings' effort.
That 0-2 pitch, another curveball outside. Once again, I know you just saw the deep ball, but you need base runs if you're the Lefties. Got to put some pressure on Jordan.
Not only do you need base runners and putting the ball in play, you need to execute when those runners are on base.
Boy, that was a shot, though.
That was an absolute moonshot, something we don't see every day, and that was a tremendous hit, just tremendous contact from Billings.
A 2-2 pitch is hitting the right center field. That's fairly well hit. Crossing into the alleyway. He has room, though, as he puts it away. Pretty good swing, though, from Kim.
A great swing indeed. This one not hit as well, a bit shallow near right center field. The Lefties looking to smash their way back into this ball game.
That brings up the 9th man, Sebastian Flores. 4 for 19, no extra base hits for his credit. He's been the regular at shortstop the past few days, in place for the returner B.Y. Choi. Trying to show off his talents for some Major League scouts in San Diego. That's where he's been the past few days. He's supposed to get back into town late tonight, maybe even join the team in the dugout. We're told we should not expect to see him take the field tonight or expect him to hit.
And that's a tremendous opportunity for B.Y. Choi to go down to San Diego. We, of course, wished him all the good luck and all the best wishes, but it'll be great to have him back in Port Angeles.
3-0 the count to Flores. I would have to think he'll take a strike.
I don't think you give him the green light here. You're trying to get runners on base. I do not expect a swing here at all with a fastball coming.
Well, it takes a borderline inside strike, 3-1. Hey, you have a guy in B.Y. Choi, former draft pick in the Korean Baseball League, opted to come to the States, play in college. A couple good years at New Mexico Military Institute, as that's at foul 3-2. And a whopping 15 home runs the previous season. Of course, that's going to draw some notice from some bigger programs, and he successfully transferred to Dallas Baptist University. So that's where he'll play next spring. Of course, Lefties fans, glad to have him back for a second straight summer. That ball's off the hands out to left center field. Crossing on the run. He's going to make a nice over-the-shoulder grab. That ball still took off pretty well, even though it got down towards the handle floor as his bat.
That one was cranked pretty well and deep to left center by Kim. That's 3 consecutive high fly balls this Lefties squad has opened with to start at the bottom of the second.
I mean, look, and Matt's talked about this with us. A day like this, beautiful sunny evening, no wind, the ball flies out to left.
It certainly does, where all the sunshine is right now, in left as well as a wide gap in center field.
0-2 the count. Well, we just got word from Matt. B.Y. Choi did arrive to the park. He was sent home just a moment ago to his host family to go grab his uniform. Who knows, maybe we'll see him tonight. You never know. Nunez goes down on 3 pitches. That retires the side. We're through 2 full. 9-2 Harbour Cats, everybody. We did see a moment ago the home run by Jacob Billings, able to bring the Lefties fans to their feet for just a moment. I'm Evan Schmeiser. On behalf of Griff McClellan, we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the broadcast, everybody. We're set for the top of the 3rd inning. Top of the order coming up for Victoria. Nick Dumaniel, Tyrus Hall, and Jack Johnson. Shea Blanchard back out after taking over 2 outs in the 1st inning for Nelson Smith. Dumaniel singled to open the ballgame, flew out to left in the 2nd. So he's 1 for 2.
Blanchard able to minimize the bleeding, but unable to fully cure it as we enter the top of the 3rd.
2-0 the count to Dumaniel. Boy, he is some athlete, though.
He is, and they're going to need a couple more innings out of Blanchard. Although there has been some late activity in the Lefties bullpen.
So that ball smoked foul down the left field line. So 2-1 the count. This is a guy who only played 20 games this past season for Cal Baptist University. He hit .333. I mean, he slugged over 400. 3-1 the count. I don't know. It must be a pretty impressive depth chart over at Cal Baptist. An athlete like this, not playing all that much this past season. I don't know. 3-2 the count on a called strike.
Not much collegiate playing experience this past season, as you mentioned, but so far, part of something very special this season for the Harbour Cats.
Here's the 3-2 pitch from Blanchard. That's on the outside corner for a called strike 3. It was borderline. Dominiel's a few words for the home plate umpire. Looks like he's laughing a little bit about the call. Anyway, he'll walk off.
Dominiel seems to be laughing that one off. I'm not sure I agree with that call. That looked a little outside to me. Like it may have just missed the zone, the strike zone.
But I'll say this, I mentioned it earlier, that borderline pitch, maybe an inch or two off the outer half to righties, it's been open for business tonight. He has been pretty consistent with it. 1-0 the count to Tyrus Hall. Reached on an error by Kim in the first and a bunt single his last time in the second. And he has scored a couple times tonight. Was off the end of the bat and almost hit the lefty's dugout. Better look out over there, Ian. Just sitting there with his arms crossed right now. Didn't even flinch. The 1-1 from Blanchard. Curveball and a good one at the knees. 1-2.
Lefties having to dodge foul balls heading toward their dugout, as well as another massive lead here from the Harbor Cats.
Soft bouncer. Back to Blanchard. He's able to field his position. Whoa, look out. Close play at first. Hall was busting up the line the entire time. Blanchard almost ended up taking too long.
A friendly bounce to Blanchard, but a very low throw. He's luckily able to record the out and move to 2 outs in this inning with no runners on base. Looking to settle into an early groove here.
Well, as Jack Johnson digs in for his third at bat. Still action in the lefty's bullpen, at least for the moment, as Johnson foul tips that pitch into the glove of Adams. He recorded an RBI on the ground out in the first. Singleton came around to score in the second. He's behind 0-2. That'd be a good sign for Blanchard if he's able to record a 1-2-3 inning.
That's much needed, something the lefties have not seen tonight.
Curveball, that's right there for a called strike 3. Johnson not happy with the call. That one looked like a really good pitch to me. He goes down on 3 pitches. Good inning for Shea Blanchard. 1-2-3 go the Harbor Cats. See if the lefties can chip away just a little bit more when we return. Welcome back to Civic Field, everybody. We're set for the bottom of the third inning. 9-2 Harbor Cats. Sam Jordan back out for his third inning of work. Barrett Rose, Owen Alsop, Ethan Young, the scheduled hitters. Rose Singleton came around to score in the first. A really well-struck ball in the right center field. The right fielder, Harrison Cayley, still playing about straight-up depth. Crossland in center, he's over a few steps to the right center field alleyway. And the left fielder, Tyrus Hall, playing extremely shallow. Big swing and a miss at a hanging breaking ball, 0-2.
Rose flinched on that one, just took the bait early. And swung and missed. Looking to, again, strike early and make their loud presence felt in the bottom of the third.
Here's the 0-2 pitch coming in. Changeup, that's way outside. Forced the catcher Kyle Hepburn to come out of his crouch. Shadow's still somewhat creeping over, not quite towards the mound, but definitely across the second base bag. That ball's lifted. It's not high in the air down the left field line. It's going to drop foul. Good effort from Tyrus Hall to try and get over there.
And so far, a great battle, a great effort from Rose as well to stay alive. And just, again, find a way to put the ball in play in advance.
Yeah, it's a tough time of day to try and play third base or left field at Civic Field. The way the sun comes down, you're staring directly into it. Actually, that's kind of interesting to look at. The third baseman, Jack Johnson, he's standing kind of right in this little streak of shade. I guess coming from a light pole that's kind of going out across the infield. I wonder if he's standing there intentionally just to avoid having to look at the sun. He's playing way off the bag right now with the lefty up.
It's obviously not the preferred weather for a third baseman or for a left fielder. As you said, sun coming directly into their eyes could really make a huge difference in this game.
Well, we saw that during the weekend against the Drifters, a couple tougher plays on low line drives to the left side. Saw once or twice Drifters players just not able to see the ball coming in. Here's the 2-2. Popped up. Right in front of home plate, the catcher Hepburn now. First baseman Davis coming in. Whoa, it's Kyle Hepburn making a basket catch as he runs right past Jordan and Davis.
That could have been ugly for the Harbour Cats, but Hepburn asserting some dominance, clearly communicating and calling for that ball. Great execution from Hepburn.
You never want to see your catcher have to try and make a play like that. Pitchers almost never catch pop-ups regardless of what level you're at. Would have been a long run for Brandon Green.
That's ordinarily a first baseman's job when it's popped high into the infield toward the right side. Ordinarily, you see that go toward the dirt at first base. No, the catcher had to come in and step. That's not ideal and not the greatest sign for any team.
Owen Alsop ahead 2-0. He walked in the first. So the Lefties have been able to put a run on the board in each of their first two half innings at the plate. It would definitely be helpful if they're able to add at least something, especially after Blanchard's able to set them down 1-2-3. That ball's ripped in the left center field. That's going to go towards the wall. Crossland over to get it, and it does get all the way to the wall. Alsop will pull into second base with a one-out stand-up double. Wow, that ball was hit on an absolute rope from Alsop. His fourth double of the year, and it gives the Lefties a man on second.
Now batting the first baseman, number 32.
Alsop connected beautifully there, advancing to second, and with one out, they have another runner in scoring position. This time the lefty is looking to, again, take advantage of this opportunity.
Well, Ethan Young will settle in. He struck out his only at-bat. Love to see him get going. This is a guy that Carlos and Matt really love as a hitter. That ball's lined in the center field. It's not hit all that hard. Boy, it did jump, though. Crossland able to make the catch. He started in and then kind of had to go back a little ways as the ball jumped on him.
It was a difficult adjustment for Crossman as the sun is shining brightly in center field. But meanwhile, Alsop kind of flinching there at second base. It looked for a moment like he wanted to tag to third with a shallow outfield.
So it's left to Adams. He recorded an RBI single in the first, that plating Barrett Rose. So another chance for him, a duck on the pond and Alsop. A good take on a curveball, that's low. Second baseman Green, keeping Alsop close just a little. Not a whole lot of speed from Owen. I'd be surprised to see him take off. Not a big lead off the second base bag. All sorts of room on the right side of the infield, though. 2-0 the count, that's way outside. First base is open with Kuster on deck. Struck out his first at bat. Center fielder Crossland playing fairly deep. That's on the outside corner, 2-1.
That's something we've seen a lot tonight. pitcher's able to find the outside corner and just get enough room to for it to be called strike.
Yeah, Jordan's caught on to that pretty early. I mean, if you're seeing the umpires giving you a couple inches, you go after it. That curveball misses high. Jordan wanted it. Hepburn did too.
That pitch in a very similar location as well. This time going in favor of Sam Adams. Looking to capitalize here with 2 outs and a runner on second.
So good hitters count, 3-1. Goes for the curveball. Adams takes outside. Puts men on first and second. I don't think Jordan wanted any part of Adams. Besides that hanging curveball where he missed his spot, nothing real hittable that he gave him.
You may be onto something. Jordan maybe hesitant to give Adams a great pitch, knowing he could potentially launch one.
Well, he made quick work of Kuster in the first. So that one's a little up and in. And Billings waits on deck, who homered last inning.
Jordan still having a comfortable lead early in this game as we're almost finished with the first third. But still allowing a couple runs and not allowing the team as much breathing room as they'd prefer.
And a good hitters count for Kuster, 2-0. Jordan missing with 6 of his last 7 pitches. A longer look in this time. Wonder if Kuster will get a take sign. He does not, and he lifts it foul into the screen. I want to see a little bit of a more aggressive swing on a 2-0 count. That one, Kuster was kind of lunging and falling in front of the plate. You want to see a really balanced and powerful swing on a 2-0 or a 3-1 count.
You want, in that case, to get the ball out of the infield and hopefully let something drop for
you
a hit.
You want to drive something when you're up 2-0. That's the approach. 2-1 pitch. Look out. Up and in. Up towards the shoulder area of Kuster. Well, the good hitters count once again, 3-1. You'd expect to see that same approach. Trying to zone in on one spot. If you get it, you drive it. A gapper would be really great for this lefties crowd. Well, I think he had 3-run homer on his mind. He came up empty on that pitch. Kuster's entire upper body ended up facing the left field foul pole. So I think he was looking to cut the deficit to 9-5.
He was looking to smoke one deep.
Yeah, the runners will be off. 3-2 the count, 2 outs, men on first and second in the bottom of the third. The runners go. Here's the pitch. Foul tipped in and out of the glove of Hepburn. We'll have to do it again.
Just barely able to get a piece of it and let it land in the dirt. A great effort from Kuster to keep this at bat going.
Still 9-2 Harbour Cats. Lefties trying to produce a run in the third. Just trying to chip away. Especially after Blanchard able to record a 1-2-3 top of the third. Well, we'll do it again. 3-2. The runners go. That ball's lifted high in the air down the left field line. Foul territory. The third baseman Johnson is over, and it drops just barely out of play. Right next to some of the bullpen pitchers for the Harbour Cats. Well, a good at bat from Kuster. That'd be huge for the lefties if he's able to get on. Again, Billings waiting on deck. Love to see him bat with the bases loaded in this inning.
Billings already with a home run tonight.
3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Jordan able to win the battle. Lefties leave 2 in their half of the third. We go on to the fourth. Harbour Cats 9, Lefties 2. We'll be back in a moment.
Welcome back to Port Angeles, folks, as we approach the top half of the fourth inning. 9-2 your score in favor of the Harbour Cats. As Tyler Davis steps up to the plate. Tyler Davis up to bat as he takes a ball outside for ball one. Shea Blanchard still in the game. Exactly what the lefties needed. Looking to get extended innings from the man. As Blanchard gets sets and deals his next pitch low in the dirt, 2-0 the count now.
And look, we saw Blanchard able to record a 1-2-3 half of the third inning. You'd love to get another one here in the fourth. Just try and get outs regardless of how everything goes on the field as far as the score is concerned. Because you still have 2 more games against the Harbour Cats. You got to preserve some of your pitchers.
You have to preserve indeed. There could be some bullpen action very soon for the lefties as that pitch is called for a strike. Here comes Blanchard's next pitch. That's a high fly ball to left field near the left foul line, and that is juggled and caught. Amazingly caught by Kim as he falls down and is able to squeeze the first out. What a diving effort by Kim. Such great athleticism just now. As the lefties have a little excitement recording their first out of the inning.
Oh, that's now you absolutely need to get, especially if Blanchard is able to make a good pitch like that and get the pop-up. You wonder what kind of effect the sun had on a play like that, because Kim definitely had a tough time with it.
Meanwhile, that ball is cranked to left center field, and that's going to be fielded by Kuster. Back-to-back outs, this time on one pitch. Quick, 2 outs. Blanchard putting in some good work right now. Exactly what Port Angeles needs.
Number 49, the catcher, Kyle Hepburn.
Kyle Hepburn up to bat once again. So far, 0 for 0 with 2 walks. There's a check swing as Hepburn did go around for strike one. Hepburn awaits. Blanchard gets set. Here's the pitch that is grounded to the left side and gets through the third baseman and shortstop as Hepburn is able to reach for his first hit of the night.
Nothing you can do about that if you're Blanchard. Once again, you made another good pitch. You have a ground ball not hit particularly sharply. It just happened to be in a perfect spot in that shortstop hole. Keep attacking that strike zone. Try and mix your pitches. You have to change speeds with a lineup like this Harbour Cats group. There's not a whole lot of swing and miss in this lineup.
Hepburn able to thread the needle on that left side as he's on base with 2 outs. That first pitch is taken a little outside for strike one. Braden Kesey up to bat now. That pitch is low and outside for ball one. Blanchard looking to maintain productivity as the Harbour Cats still up by 7 runs, still a comfortable lead. But Blanchard looking to minimize the damage. That next pitch is fouled back by Kesey. 1-2 the count. Blanchard deals. That ball is swung on and missed by Kesey. Strike 3, out number 3, end of the top of the fourth. A relatively quick inning in comparison with what we've seen tonight. That will bring us to the bottom of the fourth inning. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Civic Field in Port Angeles. I'm Griff McClellan, joined by Evan Schmeiser. We begin the bottom of the fourth inning, still a 9-2 score, as the Lefties look to respond once again. As Jacob Billings, with a solo home run in his previous at-bat, back in the second inning, looking to create some more, an even bigger impact as we progress through the game and this inning. That first pitch is taken low and outside for strike one. We have a new pitcher in for the Harbour Cats, this being Chase Marshall. Currently pitching for the University of Utah, a freshman, only 18 years old. As that pitch is taken low outside for ball one.
Now they appealed it down to first. They did say he went around.
Appeared to have not checked his swing as the count is 0-2. Beg your pardon. This next pitch is grounded near the shortstop. He's able to field it and throw to first, which is wild, and it goes near the dugout. A wild throw by Hall as Billings is able to reach first with nobody out.
And he's going to be awarded second base, too. It looks like that throw did get out of play over by the Lefties' dugout. Well, interesting sequence of events. Just not too long ago, a shot of a home run to left field, and you get a big swing, a ball maybe off the bat at 40 miles per hour for an infield hit, and then take advantage of a bad throw.
That moonshot seemed to sky nearly a mile high. And speaking of mile high, we have an update for you. In the NBA, the Denver Nuggets have just clinched their first ever NBA championship. A dominant postseason, a dominant finals performance led by superstars Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets. An incredible run for the ages.
Oh, it's definitely well-deserved, and I do love me some parity. I can guarantee you that.
In a league built for parity, it is really cool to see a new team come in and win it. This team is built to win for the future.
You think the NBA is built for parity? I thought it was built for, dynasties.
In the past, it has been built for dynasties, and of course, that can still very well happen. We've seen the latest one with Golden State winning it last year.
Well, I'm glad all that's over.
One can never guarantee it's over. We have witnessed some dynasties just before I was born and throughout my lifetime, dating back to Jordan's Bulls, the San Antonio Spurs throughout the 2000s, the Miami Heat's Big Three era, followed by Golden State's Splash Brothers era. You see it often, but every once in a while you'll see a new champion come into the picture.
Well, I hope the Heat can make it back. I do love Jimmy in this story.
Jimmy Butler's got an incredible story to tell, absolutely.
I'm still sad the Sixers let him walk. It's a sad state of affairs in my mind.
It was not the greatest relationship. A bit of turmoil occurred.
Yeah, we picked Tobias Harris over him. Tobias is a good player, but boy, I love me some Jimmy.
Jimmy Butler will continue to make an impact in the NBA, still seeking his first championship ring, which will have to be delayed, until at least another year. Meanwhile, this next pitch is popped near the right foul line, and that is dropped in foul territory. 3-1 the count now, with still nobody out.
I have no idea what happened with the first baseman, Tyler Davis, right there. He didn't have to go very far to get. He had to go back just a little bit. He got turned around all sorts of ways. And, if you're MJ Kim, you got to make this hurt. That's a major break you just got.
That ball just ate him up. It's a full count now with nobody out and a runner on third for the Lefties. Here's the next pitch as that hit is hit deep to right center field. The runner tags, and he's safe. Jacob Billings in with another run, continuing to add some runs for the Lefties. A solo home run before, and now able to tag and score another one, cutting the deficit to 6 now. And only one out in the bottom of the fourth.
Well, this Harrison Cayley, he's got one heck of a hose in right field. That ball was hit fairly deep. That's another one. I didn't think he had any chance to get Billings. Jacob Billings runs fairly well. That was a bang-bang play at the plate. He needed every bit of that speed.
He certainly did. First pitch of this next at-bat is low in the dirt for ball one. Sebastian Flores man in the 9th spot in this lineup. Flew out to center field in the 2nd inning. Looking to reach base for the first time tonight. His next pitch is low outside again for ball 2. 2-0 the count now. Comes Marshall's next pitch. That is on the outside corner for strike number 1. Nobody on base right now for the Lefties, only 1 out, but a run is already scored. As the Lefties are continuing to look for ways in any shape or form to climb back into this game. That ball is lifted to right field, and it's caught by Cayley for the 2nd out.
Yeah, and Griff, as you just mentioned, it is a really good sign. See the Lefties able to push a run across, especially taking advantage of getting a man on third, less than 2 outs. And look, chip away as best you can. We have seen some pretty good performances from the Lefties bullpen going back to this previous weekend series. And if you can keep it where it is, keep chipping away, you could potentially start to put some pressure on the Harbour Cats. And it starts with something like that, manufacturing a run, get a man over, get a fly ball to get him in.
Earlier, the pressure was on the Lefties. It could transition to the opposite side, depending on what we see. That ball is swung on and missed by Roberto Nunez with 2 outs. The count now 1-1. Marshall in his first inning of this game deals his next pitch. That is right in the strike zone for strike number 2. 1-2 the count.
Look, if you're Nunez, you're going to have to shorten up here. We saw a big swing from him earlier this at bat. It's good to try and drive the ball early in the count. Now you got to try and put something in play.
Pitch is foul. That pitch is inside for ball 2. Roberto Nunez staying alive, trying to keep the 4th inning alive.
I like seeing that, though, from any pitcher, especially a guy like Nunez who stands close to the plate. Try and get him uncomfortable.
That pitch is fouled back. Still a 2-2 count.
That's one reason why baseball is so great. It's kind of like the game within the game. You get a guy who's standing close to the plate, so you brush him back with a pitch up and in. Not trying to hit him, but just trying to establish the inside corner. Then you try and go away, and credit to Nunez, he doesn't back off the plate at all.
That next pitch is rocketed to the left foul area, and the bullpen area had to kind of duck for that one. That was absolutely smoked, but it's foul as the count remains 2-2 on Nunez.
That's a pitch he's going to want back. That curveball's a little bit of a hanger. Maybe a little too far inside for him to really do damage with it, but he saw that breaking ball pretty well.
Nunez awaits. Would like to have that one back indeed. Here's Marshall's next pitch. That is low and outside for ball 3. A full count now with 2 outs.
And look, if Roberto Nunez is able to work his way aboard, even with 2 outs, we saw a lot of damage done yesterday in that 7th inning with 2 outs. You have Rose on deck and Alsop. Good at bat.
That was a great at bat indeed by Nunez, able to reach first on a walk. Still with 2 outs. As Barrett Rose steps up to the plate now.
Number 20, the DH, Barrett Rose.
The designated hitter for the Lefties. Batting left-handed, looking to capitalize on a walk just now. And again, continue to chip away at this deficit. Here's Marshall's next pitch. That is low inside near the knees for ball 1.
I would almost treat this 1-0 pitch like it's a 2-0 count. You just walk Nunez, you had a pitch, get away, miss way inside. Try to zone one up here. I would think about basically taking a strike unless it's right in your sweet spot.
Marshall waits, now deals. That ball is low inside again near the knee area. Again, as the count is now 2-0 in favor of Rose.
Yeah, if I'm Rose, I'm looking dead red. I know we just saw a curveball. If I see any kind of spin come out, anything indicating an off-speed pitch, I'm letting it go. But if you get that heater, let her rip.
That ball is near the knees again, but this time just inside the inside corner for the first strike. 2-1 the count now. As you said, Rose looking to rip it here if he gets a pitch his way. That ball is low inside for the 4th consecutive time for ball 3.
Marshall definitely likes that breaking ball. It's a good one, a good amount of life on it. It's not going to be anywhere near as effective, though, to get a chase on a 2-1 count as opposed to a 2-strike count.
Another breaking ball inside, resulting in a 5-pitch walk. You're right, Marshall does love that breaking ball. It didn't work in his favor just now, though, as a mound visit occurs. Hepburn stepping up to the mound.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations. You have to know where you are in the game. You have 2 outs. You're up 6 runs. We're in the middle of the ball game. You can't be walking back-to-back hitters. And sometimes walks are going to happen, but throwing breaking balls, trying to get chases out of the zone on 2-0 counts, 2-1 counts, it's not what you need. It's definitely not what you need.
Meanwhile,
I would think that's what this meeting is all about. Get back to attacking the strike zone and make these lefties hitters get themselves back in the game. You don't want to open the door for them with free passes and help them get back into the game.
well said, Evan. Meanwhile, Marshall remaining in the game just to catch up, and as you said, looking to throw some pitches just straight down the middle into the strike zone, making the lefties earn it.
And you also put a man in scoring position for Alsop, who had a ringing double his last at-bat.
Marshall deals. That pitch is way outside near the dirt for ball 1.
And now if you're Marshall, you're kind of in a situation where ideally you want to get aggressive with fastballs again, but you can't give Alsop anything too perfect because then he's a dangerous hitter to drive something. And you have Young on deck who has been struggling.
Nobody covering second. Nunez with a lead as that ball is in the dirt for ball 2.
I think we're going to see a green light from Alsop.
On a 2-0 count, we'll have to see.
Marshall's been struggling with his command, but with a hot hitter up, I wouldn't want to put a take sign on it, especially if he gets a good fastball.
That ball is ripped over the head of Hall as that ball goes into left center field. That ball is thrown to third, and Rose is safe. A run scores for the lefties. They keep chipping away as Nunez is in to score, cutting the deficit to 5 now. The lefties showing signs of life. This is deja vu for them, coming back again.
Yeah, potentially, and got to give them a lot of credit. They're able to keep the line moving, do damage with 2 outs, and you can't ask for anything better from Owen Alsop. He got that fast what he wanted, a straight heater down in the zone, right in his nitro zone, towards the middle of the plate, and that was just a shot, a low-line drive shot into left center field. Also really good base running from Alsop to get to second on that throw coming into third.
2 runners in scoring position for the lefties. A massive opportunity to capitalize on more runs. That breaking ball goes inside in the dirt once again. Another breaking ball exhibited by Chase Marshall.
And now if you're Young, you're in the position where a base hit, you make this a 3-run game, you have a ball game again with a base hit.
You certainly do. A base hit could be of great impact. That ball is a high fly ball to shallow right field, and it's going to be caught by Cayley to end the inning. Damage limited, but the lefties add another run as Young is unable to reach base. That brings us to the end of the 4th inning. We'll be right back with the top of the 5th inning. Don't go anywhere. Greetings, Port Angeles. Welcome to the top half of the 5th inning, a 9-4 ball game. As the Lefties were able to convert another run, as the Harbour Cats will look to get back to business. As Michael Crossland is up to the plate and fouls that one back for strike one. And Cole Acker in the game now. A new pitcher coming in for Shea Blanchard as that pitch is swung on and missed for strike two. Quickly behind in the count is Crossland, 0-2. As Acker's next pitch is outside for ball one. Acker's next pitch is fouled back by Crossland into the seats and out of play.
Yeah, Cole got roughed up just a little bit, allowing 4 runs coming into the 7th inning on Saturday night. You'd love to see him pitch a clean outing, get some innings out of him, and get a little bit of momentum for him, and especially trying to keep this game where it's at, especially their lefties starting to slowly get back into it.
That ball is grounded near the shortstop, throwing to first, and Young is able to prowl in for the first out of the inning. Cole Acker looking to produce some innings for the Lefties. Maybe keep him in a couple more innings like they did with Blanchard.
Oh, yeah, we're early. We're only in the 5th. Definitely need some time out of him. I'd be surprised if he's only expected to pitch 1 inning.
They got what they want. They got what they needed from Blanchard. They're seeking the same consistency from Acker. That pitch is called a strike. That pitch is grounded to the pitcher as Acker flips it to Young for first for the second out.
That's an excellent sign for the young man, especially just about to graduate high school. I mean, he just got 2 extremely weak outs, attacking the inside part of the plate, getting weak contact off the hands. I mean, I had a pitching coach back in the day as a youngster. Told me you go outside for show, and then what really separates you is you go inside. He says you go inside for dough.
Acker's first pitch of this third at bat is outside for ball one. Next pitch is swung on and missed for strike one.
This is a tremendous opportunity for the young man on the mound. Facing a good hitter like Dumanil, like a preview going into your first college season next spring.
This is a great test for Acker. Dumanil, a dominant hitter, as we've mentioned several times. Looking to silence this next at bat as that ball is grounded near the right foul line. And out of play, 2-2 the count.
You know, the way the shadows are right now, Griff. So right now, Acker on the mound, he's completely in the sun. And then about halfway between home plate and the rubber, that's when the shadows completely cover everything. Some late swings this inning. You wonder if the shadows are playing a little bit of an effect on these hitters.
That ball is lined past the third baseman, Kim, for a base hit. Dumanil able to reach first. And yes, you mentioned the effect of shade on this field. Just a couple innings ago, we saw right field entirely covered by shade. A good chunk of the infield. There is a slight bit of sunshine right along the base path from first to second. However, all of center field is now covered in shade, a difference we've seen. It was not the case 2 innings ago. As Acker waits his next pitch, that is Hall, who grounds that one to the second baseman, Nunez, who flips to Young for the out. A good inning from Acker, his first inning of work, as we end the top of the 5th inning. We approach the bottom half of the 5th inning. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Port Angeles, y'all, as we begin the bottom of the 5th inning. The lefties up to bat once again, as Sam Adams will lead them off. A new pitcher is in for the Harbour Cats, as that is Davis Franklin, a left-handed pitcher, a sophomore out of Puget Sound College. Bats and throws left-handed from the state of Washington, as he makes his first appearance tonight. Adams at the plate. Franklin sets, now throws. That pitch is swung on and missed by Adams for strike one on a pitch a little outside.
Yeah, I'm back on the 4th. He did get roughed up just a little bit against Kamloops. 4 innings, 6 hits, a couple earned runs. That's a pretty good outing, actually, all things considered.
That's a high fly ball to right center field, and it's caught by Cayley for the first out. 2 pitches and 1 out so far for Franklin.
Now batting the left fielder from Neosho County.
Pretty interesting.
College,
This game has settled down, actually, by a pretty good amount. Pretty good pace the past handful of innings, especially with the slow start we had.
The game started out pretty slowly. We only got through 2 innings after an hour. Now the time being 8:29 West Pacific time. As we're in the bottom of the 5th, that ball is lifted to center field and recorded for the second out. 3 pitches from Franklin and already 2 outs. A pretty solid start for Franklin.
Oh, look, if you can get 2 outs on 3 pitches, my goodness. Like, who's not going to take that? I also really like seeing Michael Crossland just patrol center field. He's had a busy evening, and I've liked what I've seen. He gets good jumps on the ball, and he has good closing speed.
So far, so good for Franklin. His next pitch is called a strike on the outside corner.
You know, I only played the outfield for a couple seasons growing up, my 13 and 14-year-old seasons. I loved it out there. I actually preferred playing right field over left, though. I wasn't a center fielder, just not quite, not a strong enough arm, not quite fast enough in my first step for that. You know, it is interesting, though. The ball comes off a lefty's bat much differently than a righty. Like a right-handed hitter going the opposite way, the spin's not the same, doesn't get out to you as fast. A lefty hitting the ball to left field, though, that ball's spinning all sorts of ways.
That ball is fouled off. The count remains 0-2. As Billings, with a solo home run earlier, as we mentioned, an absolute moonshot with a 5-run deficit in the 5th inning.
Yeah, a couple hits to his credit today. A shot and then a bleeder.
That pitch is well outside for ball 1 as Hepburn goes sliding into the dirt.
Yeah, those were the days, though. Love playing me some outfield.
Fun indeed. This next pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 3 as we end the 5th inning. To the 6th inning we go. We got an exciting ball game. Stay tuned, folks. Welcome back to Port Angeles, folks. As the first pitch is grounded to the third baseman, Kim for the out with Young at first. One quick out, one pitch for Acker.
Now batting the first baseman, number 48, Tyler Davis.
Tyler Davis up to the plate now. Acker looking to bring another inning of productivity as that ball is outside for ball one. Still a 9-4 ball game. Acker looking to minimize damage as that ball is grounded foul near the left side. 1-1 the count.
So it looks like we have some changes in the field. So Zach Kim has entered the game to play second base, and I see Roberto Nunez moved over to third.
The changes are on for the lefties as that pitch goes outside for ball two.
So that would make me think Zach Kim will be in the 8 spot for MJ Kim. This spot the 8 spot does come up first in the 6th inning.
Davis awaits as he's in front of the count 2-1. That pitch hits him inside as Davis is able to draw a walk with one out. And Acker with his first base runner allowed tonight.
That's a tough break right there for Cole. I mean, he's looked really sharp so far, setting down the first 4 hitters he's faced. And you need to try and establish the inside part of the plate. That one just got away ever so slightly. Hopefully still with a man on base, he's able to keep his composure and maybe even roll a double play ball.
Would be a great break for the lefties as Acker's next pitch is dealt to Harrison Cayley outside for ball one. Acker gets set. Davis with a lead at first, now retreats. 1-1 the count, one out. Davis with another lead at first, perhaps looking to steal and add another one to their category. As that pitch is outside and low again for ball two.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of the big storylines coming into tonight is just how aggressive the Harbor Cats are as far as running the bases and trying to steal is concerned.
That pitch is fouled off and rolled back to Acker, the pitcher, but the umpire calls a foul. It's been a quiet last few innings for the Harbor Cats after some early strikes.
Well, look, when you get up big early, you're not going to be stealing anywhere near as many bases. Now, granted, a 5-run game, I would not say it's off limits to steal by any means.
Not at all. That ball is grounded to the shortstop Flores. The flip to second, and the throw. The first is out for a double play. A much-needed break for the lefties as they continue to find another way to prevent any further damage and any further runs from being scored, as that brings us to the end of the top of the 6th. The lefties will be up to bat right after this. Welcome back to Port Angeles, folks. To the bottom of the 6th inning we go. A 9-4 ball game. Leading off for the Lefties is a pinch hitter, as Davis Franklin remains in the game on the mound for the Harbour Cats. This first pitch is grounded fair near the third base line, thrown to first for the out. Johnson to Davis, as Zach Kim with one hit, one swing, and already one out. The pinch hitter quickly out with only one pitch.
Number 8, the shortstop, Sebastian Flores.
Sebastian Flores in the game now. The 9th man in the lineup with one quick out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Awaits a pitch on the outside edge for strike one. A good pitch from Franklin in his second inning of work. Here's Franklin's next pitch. That is grounded just foul near third base. As Flores looks to stay alive and quickly falls behind 0-2. The Lefties in need of some late inning magic once again. Been a theme this season. Not the greatest strategy to come back from behind to win games, but at the moment, that's what they'll need, as that ball is cranked foul over the dugout and into the stands as the count remains 0-2. Sebastian Flores with 2 flyouts tonight, looking to make another impact for the Lefties as that ball is grounded in the dirt for ball 1. Franklin tosses and that ball is fouled back by Flores, unable to get under it as he stays alive in this battle. Still one out, a shallow outfield, nobody covering second. Flores' next pitch is popped up foul near right field, and running to get it is Cayley, but he's unable to haul it as the count remains 1-2, and Flores is able to stay alive and fend off another pitch. Flores looking to get this quiet crowd back into it. Looking to make a difference. That ball is lined to the second baseman, Green, who throws to Davis for the out. Another out, another consistent, Franklin's consistency continues as the leadoff man for the Lefties is about to make another plate appearance. Nunez looking to help the Lefties inch their way back into this game as that ball is cranked foul and out of play. As we just heard a loud thud as that ball just landed right next to where we were sitting in the press box. That one caught all of our attention and may have woken us up as Flores is behind in the count 0-1 with a bang to start the at-bat, and he swings and misses at that pitch low and outside. 0-2 now. Nunez awaits. Here it is. That ball's outside. Again, 1-2 the count. Nunez and Franklin in a mini duel as that pitch is swung on and missed. Another pitch outside as Nunez took the bait. We're going to the 7th inning now.
Oh, Griff, we are going to keep it right here just for a moment. Well, so far for our first 3 home games, we've had something to say about some historical or scenic or cultural significance for Port Angeles. We did it once for the Springfield Drifters earlier. So the Victoria Harbour Cats and the Port Angeles Lefties are only separated by a narrow body of water, otherwise known as the Strait of Juan de Fuca. We did talk about that one yesterday on the broadcast. The Blackball Ferry is now in its 63rd year of operation. That's pretty good for a ferry line. Their main flagship fits up to 1,000 people, including cars. That's a gift shop that, frankly, that they rave about.
Without question, a hotspot for a tourist attraction here in beautiful Port Angeles.
Yeah, they're pet friendly. You can bring your bicycles on. You can get your car on.
They
has its own coffee shop, free Wi-Fi. And look, it's just a beautiful scene. Assuming the weather's nice, which, granted, once we get to summertime, the dry season, I mean, just looking over it from our host family house, it's a beautiful 90-minute, just smooth sailing getting across.
Oh, what's not to love about it? You have
We're
so
going to take that
benefits.
ferry. We're going to make our way across there at some point this summer, Griff.
Oh, we have so many goals, not only to enjoy the Lefties season, but also to really take advantage of some incredible opportunities outside of baseball in Port Angeles. To get to be able to see Canada for a day in Victoria, the home of the Harbour Cats, and see some beautiful nature and enjoy a nice little ferry ride across the sea.
Yeah, I think a great day would be, especially if I can get my car onto that ferry, go cruising around a little bit, whether it's Victoria or if there's some beautiful countryside outside of there, and then see a Harbour Cats game. I'd love that. As Hepburn swings and hits that first pitch foul up the first base line. 6, 7, 8 coming up for the Harbour Cats. Hepburn, Kesey, and Crossland. Cole Acker back out for his 3rd inning of work. And boy, he's been tremendous. Seems like any early nerve. Wow, that ball's hit well. Deep out to left field. Kuster going back on it. And that ball is gone. Just sneaks over the left field wall. Hepburn able to take advantage of a hanging breaking ball.
You may have just jinxed it, Evan. Acker having 2 great innings of work, and that time unable to find his groove once again, as that pitch is absolutely rocketed to left field, as Hepburn's having quite a night.
Well, he's been good. He's hit the ball hard. He hit the ball hard this past couple times up. And look, in high school, American Legion, a hanging breaking ball like that, you might be able to get away with it, but it's a different ball game facing upperclassmen, some Division I quality guys. They're going to take advantage of that. Swing and a miss from Kesey on that inside fastball. And Grant, if you're Cole Acker, settle back down. You've been great so far. Home runs are going to happen at times, especially facing some older, more experienced opponents.
And that time, the Harbour Cats were able to utilize their lethal offense via long ball, something you don't see from them too often. Only their 7th home run of the season. As we've mentioned several times, their ability to enforce small ball is what kills opponents. But this time, no, they've shown they can use long ball as well.
And look, that's the approach you want. Try and hit the ball hard, hit it low for the most part, but then every once in a while you really get into one, and that's how you get your gappers and your home run balls.
They can deliver the ultimate package in quite a versatile lineup, indeed.
Oh, called strike 3 on Kesey. He didn't quite like the call that much. Wonder if the home plate umpire, he didn't necessarily ring him up. Wonder if he forgot the count just for a moment. Well, a good job by Acker, able to rebound. They'll bring up Michael Crossland. He's 1 for 3. RBI single, and he came around to score back in the first. So 10-4 Harbour Cats with 1 out in the top of the 7th. So that pitch misses a little bit low, according to the home plate umpire. Low and inside, 2-0 the count. Yeah, the Harbour Cats put 6 runs in the board in the first inning, sending 10 men to the plate. 3 more came across in the second, and that's been the difference. After that second inning, Blanchard was pretty good for a couple innings, scoreless 3rd and 4th, and other than the home run, Acker's been excellent.
He has. That's really the only damage he's allowed tonight in his 3rd inning of work now. Let's not let the home run overshadow his mid-game success. He has kept the lefties relevant in this game, and we said it a couple innings back. They're gonna need several innings of work from him, and so far he's given them just that. Speaking of shadow, the shadow is now widespread over the entire field.
I was just getting ready to say, Griff. Yeah, the dusks are really amazing. Swing and a miss by Brandon Green. I think he was trying to make it 12-4.
We have beautiful sunsets here in Port Angeles. Even with so many mountains visible, you get to see the whole thing with the wide open coast.
That's outside 1-1. Yeah, so looking out to right field, there is still some sunlight touching the top of some of those foothills, especially the one with a little bit of ice cap remaining. Some sunlight still on the houses up on the center field hill. Well, yeah, the entire field, the clouds have taken over. I know this for sure. One of these days I'm going to drive out near the Coast Guard base and check out the sunset. That ball's lined out to right field. Alsop goes back, and he's able to get there. Pretty good swing from Green, but 2 outs nonetheless.
Acker slowly working his way back into finding his groove and settling in. 1 home run is forgivable. He's had several good innings, and he's really finding his really good streak again.
Well, it brings up Dumanil again. He was able to single against Acker back in the 5th. So another opportunity. Swings the first pitch. The ball's lifted in the right field. Allison is there again. It's not deep, and he's able to put it away. So the Harbour Cats able to add another run on the Hepburn home run. Acker able to settle back in and retire. Set the next 3 out of 4 guys down. So we're through 6.5 at Civic Field. It's the Harbour Cats 10 and the Lefties 4. Well, it is getting late at Civic Field. Bottom of the 7th inning, 10-4 Harbour Cats. Rose, Alsop, and Young the scheduled hitters. Barrett Rose walked his last appearance back in the 4th. Singleton scored in the 1st. He's 1 for 2.
Franklin, the southpaw, in his 3rd inning of work. So far, so good for the young man.
That's in the dirt, 1-1 the count. Lefty on lefty matchup.
I was waiting for someone to say that at the Lefties ballpark. How ironic.
Well, it's going to happen here and there. I mean, I'm not going to wear it out. Davis Franklin getting back to work. Able to throw scoreless 5th and 6th inning.
We saw this yesterday. The Lefties were trailing 5 runs, this time 6.
Yeah, we're in albeit familiar territory. A breaking ball off the top of the helmet of Rose. That one just got away. Rose is perfectly fine. So he taps his helmet a couple times, reminding himself where his helmet is. That's why we wear it. So a leadoff base runner for the Lefties. See if they can take advantage of that.
That one just clipped him on top of the helmet, and thankfully for his sake, his helmet did its job, and he's okay.
Well, it brings up Alsop. He's seen the ball really well today. 2 for 2 with a couple doubles. And RBI back in the fourth. A swing and a miss on a breaking ball down and in. Yeah, he's seen the ball really well the past couple days. We'll see how he's able to do, though, against a lefty, especially a lefty who loves his curveball. The Harbour Cats will set up the turn 2. Slide step. It's hit fairly sharply back towards the middle. That's going to turn into an easy double play. Yeah, that's about as tailor-made as it gets, as Hall is able to haul that one in. I walked right into that one, didn't I, Griff?
You did.
Hall able to haul it in.
Hall did haul it in. He just took the force out at second and easily tossed it to first.
I was not trying to do that on purpose. Then once I started, I realized, well, I can't take that one back.
It's a pretty funny play on words.
Ethan Young grounds that one through the hole on the right side for a base hit. So the lefties are able to get a 2-out base runner.
Young quickly responding with a one-pitch base hit opposite field. As with 2 outs, we keep mentioning it, but this time very specifically with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th, this is when we saw a lot of damage come in for the lefties.
Well, it brings up Adams. RBI single for him in the first. He's 1 for 2. Also walked in the third. No action in the lefties' bullpen, so we'll expect to see Acker come back out. He's been great. A really good sign for the young man. 1-1 to count.
Acker has been terrific indeed. So has Franklin on the opposite side. Looking to prevent another run from scoring, as the lefties are mildly at the moment threatening with 2 outs and a runner on first.
Popped up right side. Davis is over towards the dugout. Wow. Looks like that ball dropped. Not sure if that hit the screen or if it hit the overhang there, but it looked like it dropped in play. Wonder if Davis just, I don't know, wonder if he just didn't anticipate it properly. It's a tough angle for us looking down there.
It's a tough angle. From what I observed, he had plenty of room to make that catch. He just let that ball drop.
Well, it's back towards the middle. Hall is able to come up with it. He'll touch the second base bag himself. No runs, a couple hits, 1 man left for the lefties. We're through 7 full, 10-4 Harbour Cats. Victoria in full control. Well, we trek on to the 8th inning, everybody. Evan Schmeiser joined by Griff McClellan. Tyrus Hall, Jack Johnson, and Tyler Davis as scheduled hitters. We'll see Cole Acker back out to work a 4th inning on the mound. He's definitely been a bright spot tonight. While Zablon's lined back through the middle for a base hit. I mean, besides that and the solo home run, he's been really good. 3+ innings in the moment, just a single run allowed. I mean, this is the kind of guy where, of course, he's a young kid. He's about to graduate high school. But especially as he was able to get in the weight room with a college program, get more experience, get older, bigger, stronger. He's already a guy who he's had to learn about changing speeds and moving his pitches around. He's able to add some velocity, though, just from some natural size and strength. There's a reasonably high ceiling.
Yeah, he's got a great future ahead of him, and this is a great opportunity for him to develop some early going into collegiate experience. And so far, he's shown some great signs of what has yet to come.
Here's his 0-1 pitch. That ball's off the handle. Kim out to get it. It's going to drop in for a right field in front of Alsop. Throw to second base is not going to be in time. Texas League bleeder. The ball may have gotten 10 to 15 feet in the right field at the most. But either way, back-to-back singles to start the 8th for the Harbour Cats.
And Hall, unsure whether that was going to drop or not, hesitated to go back to first, but as soon as he realized it, took off for second. And just like that, the Harbour Cats are in business again as a mound visit is coming for Acker.
Yeah, Ian Turner on the mound, so he just shook Acker's hand, but they're continuing the conversation. There's a fist bump right there. Turner takes the ball. That's going to be it for Acker. New pitcher coming in for the Lefties. Cole Acker gets a really nice ovation, round of applause. His teammates come out to clap him up, congratulate him. Really good outing from Cole Acker, 3+ innings, 2 inherited runners, his responsibility. We'll be back with the new pitcher in a moment. We thank you once again for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Griff McClellan. 10-4 Harbour Cats over the Lefties is your score. Runners on first and second. Those were Cole Acker's responsibility. Weston Penninger will take over on the mound. This will be the second game he's pitched this season. Threw a scoreless inning a couple days ago against the Drifters. Trying to work around a couple inherited runners. It's Tyler Davis, he's behind 0-1. Davis, he's 0 for 2. Fielder's choice RBI in the first. He was hit by a pitch in the 6th. Good curveball in the inside corner, 0-2. And the Lefties bullpen has been pretty good for the most part again. So 6 first-inning runs and 3 more in the second. Besides that, Blanchard and Acker have been pretty good. And now it's left to Penninger in the 8th. Slow roller to the right of the mound. Penninger, his hat came off. He had that in his hand for a moment, flips to first for the out.
For a minute, it appeared that Penninger looked to potentially toss that with his glove.
Yeah, that was an interesting sequence of events. even as he fielded the ball in his glove, he still has hat in his hand. Then he realized, well, I better ditch the hat so I can flip it to first.
A good ditch indeed is good for an out. Any way you can take it, as Penninger looks to add to the recent bullpen success for the lefties.
Well, it brings up Harrison Cayley. Singled and scored in the first, walked and scored in the second. Bounced into a double play his last time up in the sixth. So he's behind 0-1. The lefties will play the corner. Well, the third baseman Nunez playing even with the bag. Young is playing back at first, and the middle infield is also playing back. So they'll concede a run trailing by 6 in the 8th. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow night, you guys. 6:35 first pitch for the second game of the 3-game series, Harbour Cats and Lefties. Pretty good slider, misses inside.
We will be back tomorrow night indeed for what could be a very fascinating matchup. We've seen a pretty entertaining ball game tonight with the Harbour Cats exhibiting their unique style of play.
Outside 3-1 the count.
Penninger in a little pickle right now with a runner on first with only 1 out. And behind in the count 3-1.
Yeah, first base is open. Of course, you're looking for outs at this point. The 3-1 pitch, ball's in the air, foul down the left field line, 3-2 the count. I mean, Griff, it goes without saying, but the next 2 days against this Victoria Harbour Cats team, you're gonna have to get some clean innings early in the game. I mean, no matter how much effort you put in and how much you try and battle back, falling behind 5 runs, falling behind early, it's not a formula. So that's through the left side for a base hit. 1 run's going to score. Station to station, go Victoria.
If you're the lefties, you have to ensure all you can to make sure that this game does not get out of hand in the first 2 innings as it pretty much did tonight. As the score is now 11-4. That's been a common trend we've seen. The lefties tending to fall behind early. Again, they've shown they're capable of making some incredible comebacks, but to have a legitimate shot against this young and youthful Harbour, Victoria Harbour Cats squad, you have to get in front early and set the tone.
Kyle Hepburn homered his last time up in the 7th. That one coming off of Cole Acker. A low line drive, all sorts of topspin on that ball. Just high enough to get over the left field wall. Comes up empty on that one. I think he was trying to go deep again. It's a pretty healthy hack.
He was looking to crank that once again. He hit another moonshot to left field. We've seen 2 home runs to left field from each team tonight.
The 1-1 pitch is lofted in the air to left center field. This one is playable. Kuster's over. It's the center fielder Billings who makes the call and the catch. The throw comes into third. Tagging and coming across is Johnson. Looks like Nunez is going to touch the third base bag, wondering if Johnson left early. Safe is the call from the home plate umpire. It was close. I thought maybe Johnson left early. The sacrifice fly in a 12-4 game nonetheless.
Johnson was ready to take off. I think he just had his foot on base as soon as Billings made that catch. I think the umps made the right call there that he was safe to increase the lead to 8 now for the Harbour Cats.
Well, it's left to Braden Kesey. RBI single for him in the second. A walk back in the first, so he's 1 for 3. Looks ahead 0-1. This is a good, deep Victoria lineup. I mean, look, the lefties were throwing strikes for the most part, too. Just talk about coming out swinging and punching a team in the mouth.
Let's not forget about the lefties' bullpen success tonight. It's just been overshadowed by this tremendous depth exploited by the Harbour Cats. You're right. In order to win in this league, you have to have a deep roster, and that's exactly what they have, which is what makes this team dangerous going later into the summer.
At least for the moment, any of those woes against the Wenatchee Apple Sox on the start of that road trip, that's all over for Victoria, at least for one night. Here's the 0-2 pitch with 2 outs. That ball goes all the way to the backstop. Up to second goes Kaylee. That's one that just got away. That might have been a foot too high, if not more than that.
It was very high without question. As Penninger is unable to continue this bullpen stride the lefties were hitting.
Well, Penninger's still in control of this at bat. 1-2 the count. Here's his payoff. Oh, it's fouled off again. And look, just have to keep saying it. Not very much swing and miss in this Harbour Cats lineup. And we're seeing with 2 strikes, elongating their stance, shortening up their stride, shortening their swing, and making things happen by putting the ball in play.
They've shown great patience and discipline at the plate.
2-2 the count. I mean, look, and when seen just a year ago with the Houston Astros winning the World Series, they struck out. It was either the least or the second least amount of strikeouts in all of baseball.
They swing at good pitches they see, and they make the most of it. The Astros, a big-time home run hitter.
Swing and a miss right there. Kesey goes down swinging. That retires the side for Victoria. They put 2 more runs on the board, making it a 12-4 ball game. Lefties down to their final 6 outs when we return.
Happy birthday, Peggy Romero.
We're back for the bottom of the 8th inning, everybody. Cam Kuster, Jacob Billings, Zach Kim, the scheduled hitters. The Harbour Cats will go back to their bullpen. Ryder Green will take over. A local guy for all the Victoria fans, right out of Victoria, British Columbia. 5'11", 180-pound right-handed pitcher. Going to school at Park University in Parkville, Missouri. Good swing by Kuster, ripping that one through the middle.
Ripping it indeed. A great way for the lefties to begin this inning. 1 pitch, 1 hit. Looking to get on base any way they can to potentially launch another rally here.
Brings up Jacob Billings. He's 2 for 3, homering in the 2nd, infield single in the 4th. Look, even with it being an 8-run game, if you're still able to put some runs on the board for the lefties, it could help to build a little bit of momentum for the next game coming up tomorrow. That ball's ripped through the hole on the left side for a base hit. Swing at the first pitch is Billings. He's 3 for 4. Really good day for Jacob.
A great day for Jacob indeed, and so far, Ryder Green making an appearance, 2 pitches and 2 hits.
University of Illinois, Chicago,
Lefties already threatening this quickly.
And that brings up Zach Kim. Came in to replace MJ Kim in the batting order. So he's 0 for 1 coming off the bench. Harbour Cats look to turn two. That ball's hit fairly well out to right center field. Crossing on the run. Woo. Oh, that ball's dropped in center field. Wow, it's in and out of the glove. So both runners able to move up. Goodness, that was bizarre.
That'll go down as an error for Crossland. He just fumbled it at the very last minute, and it drops. And lands in good fortune for the lefties, as in 3 pitches, the bases are already loaded. Can you believe this?
Yeah, once again, with Sebastian Flores coming up, bases loaded, nobody out. Push a couple runs across here, you're feeling better about your situation. Like, okay, yeah, we can hang with these guys. We can put some runs on the board against them. First pitch to Flores is a little high.
Not an ideal start for Ryder Green. At this point, he's just looking to get out of this inning.
Well, Sebastian's 0 for 3 tonight. Bounced out to second his last appearance. Harbour Cats will play back, trying to turn 2. Swing and a miss at that fastball.
Flores wanted every bit of that. Looking to rip one deep to left.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Good play on that ball in the dirt by Hepburn.
A great block by Hepburn. At this stage in the game especially, every pitch matters. A wild pitch would score a run here. And a base hit could drive in 2 runs. Maybe even 3. The game's outcome depends heavily on this inning right here.
Looks like Braden Kesey actually moved over to center field. Yeah, it's not Crossing out there. That's Kesey. Glad we were able to see that one. So 2-2 the count. Nobody out. Lefties trailing by 8 in the home half of the 8th inning. Flores trying to push something across, preferably a base hit. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That ball's hit softly. Out to shortstop, hauled up with it. He bobbles it. He's not going to have a play anywhere. Kuster able to cross the plate. Second error of the inning by the Victoria Harbour Cats. On very routine plays at that. The bases are still loaded with nobody out.
Back-to-back errors committed by the Harbour Cats have opened the gates for these lefties as they cut the deficit to 7, but looking to add quite a bit more, still with nobody out. And everybody's safe.
I mean, Flores has decent speed getting up the line, but that could have been a tailor-made double play ball.
That was a big opportunity indeed for these Harbour Cats. This is a fumble by Hall. Left everybody safe, but could have potentially been a double play to really slow the momentum for these lefties.
Well, Nunez behind 0-1. Good take on the curveball, 1-1 the count. After a hot weekend series against the Drifters, Nunez is 0 for 3. He walked and scored in the 4th. A couple punch-outs, too. Not quite seeing the ball as well tonight as he did the past few days. Base hit here could cut it to a 5-run game. Check swing outside.
Ryder Green, a freshman from Park University, hometown in Victoria, a local kid for these Harbour Cats. Feeling a little bit nervous, a little anxious right now, still with nobody out.
That 2-1 pitch is ripped through the hole on the left side for a base hit. Station to station go the lefties. As a run comes across, it's now a 6-run ball game. Still nobody out. Billings able to cross the plate on that one. That was a good-looking swing from Nunez. Good to see him get in on the action.
Just like that, it is a 12-6 ball game, as we may or may not see a mound visit coming up soon.
I mean, look, I would have to think the Harbour Cats want to stick with Ryder, not have to use anybody else, preferably not want to get anybody else up. But look, if the lefties get this much closer, you might have to think about getting somebody up. That's on the outside corner to Barrett Rose. Rose singled and scored in the 1st. Also walked and was hit by a pitch his last time up.
The tying run is in the hole right now. It's pivotal and essential that the Harbor Cats get an out here if they want to keep this game out of reach.
Big swing and a miss late on the fastball, 0-2. Well, now if you're Rose, you got to put something in play. The Harbor Cats once again will look to turn 2. Everybody playing back around the infield. And look, 1 or 2 more runs, and you might really be able to get the fans back into this game. The 0-2. Just outside. It missed, but it was close.
A good take, too.
So Alsop waits on deck. So 1-2 the count, bases loaded, nobody out. The Lefties have scored 2 already. They trail 12-6. Good take on a curveball in the dirt. That was a good one from Green.
His ability to remain disciplined is what's keeping the Lefties in this inning right now, as he looks to potentially crank a base hit or maybe even draw a walk.
Well, the night sky starts to settle upon us. Lights are on in force, 2-2 the count, nobody out, bases loaded for the Lefties, trailing 12-6 in the bottom of the 8th. Looks like they're calling a pitch clock violation on Green. Yeah, so the count should be 3-2. There we are.
A full count, nobody out, bases loaded.
No, they're actually saying 2-2. This is bizarre. I could have sworn they called a pitch clock violation. I don't know what else they could have called out there, but the home plate umpire signaled 2-2.
That's what it initially appeared to be, and I was a little confused too. Couldn't quite read what was going on.
Well, either way, here's the 2-2 pitch. That ball's ripped through the hole on the right side. Base hit. Kim will score. Flores will be held at third. It's now a 5-run game, still with nobody out.
And the tying run on deck now. The Lefties keep the line moving.
Pitch clock violation or not, Rose didn't seem to mind his second hit of the night. Fans slowly getting into it. Lefties have pushed 3 runs across. Kuster started with a hit. Billings followed with a single. Kim reached on a pivotal error. Flores also able to reach on an error.
The Lefties are feeling it right now. They are red hot.
And you have a dangerous hitter in Alsop right now. He's hit 2 missiles in this game. A double in the 3rd, RBI single in the 4th. Possibly a dangerous spot for Green and the Harbor Cats. Slow bouncer at foul. He does have a good curveball, though. Some late downward life.
He does, but still failing to make 1 out in this inning, as late inning magic is very realistic at this point for the Lefties. Can we see it again?
Oh, look, they scored 9 in the 7th yesterday. That curveball stays high. A lot of that action yesterday was done with 2 outs. Still nobody out here.
They're almost halfway there. They've scored 3 runs in this bottom of the 8th inning. 5 to go.
Well, we don't have a great view of the bullpen for the Harbor Cats. I see somebody stretching. The 1-2. Good job getting a piece of that one. Alsop just threw his bat out there to get it. Yeah, more fans starting to get into it. Field things is getting a little more tense for Victoria. They were in full control. Up 6-0, and then 9-1. A swing and a miss at a slow curveball right there. A big first out for Ryder Green. He's able to punch out Alsop.
Green using his curveball to his advantage. Finally recording an out for these Harbor Cats. That's got to feel good, but still a lot of work needs to be done. Potentially getting a double play here.
Ethan Young singled his last at bat. He's 1 for 4. The second baseman playing a little further over towards the hole. And Young takes a curveball 0-1. Yeah, Brandon Green over just a few steps towards the hole. That is where Young had his last base hit. Civic Field dead quiet right now in anticipation. Comes up empty on an outside fastball, 0-2.
An extra base hit, and this place is going to erupt.
A long look in this time from Ryder Green. He comes set, working out of the stretch. One out with the bases loaded, the 0-2. That curveball's right down the chute. Yeah, Young not happy about it. Not sure if he's unhappy with the call or unhappy with himself, but he goes down looking on 3 pitches. Back-to-back punch-outs for Ryder Green. He has a chance to get out of it still with a 5-run lead.
And a great pitch by Green. Just freezes Young at the plate. Had nothing to do.
Well, Sam Adams is the 9th man to come to the plate. So the lefties have batted around for the 2nd straight day. RBI single for him in the 1st. He walked in the 3rd. That breaking ball's low. I mean, look, if Adams is able to get a base hit, maybe you score 2, you've got a game again. You really do. 5 runs, if Ryder's able to get out of it, that's still a pretty good cushion. On the outside corner, 0-2. That's been a strike all night long. Adams steps out just to catch his breath, settle back in. The Harbor Cats infield looking to knock anything down. Just try and get an out somewhere. 12-7 is our score. Curveball, check swing in the dirt. No appeal, 2-1.
Harbor Cats just seeking a sigh of relief here.
And look, if you're Victoria, you need this game. You're coming off getting swept in Wenatchee. Trying to get some kind of momentum back on their end. The 2-1 to Adams. That's outside 3-1.
And talk about momentum. A real momentum swing could go either way for these guys. Coming away with a pretty convincing win tonight or a huge meltdown loss could really affect this team going forward in this series.
Well, the game is at the plate at the moment. 3-1 to count, 2 outs and the bases loaded. Nowhere to put them. That ball's hit softly back towards second base. Brandon Green up with it. Soft toss to first in time. That retires the side. The lefties bat around. They do plate 3. And they leave the bases loaded. Still a 12-7 ball game through 8 innings at Civic Field. Well, we're back for the top of the 9th inning, everybody. 12-7 Harbor Cats. Victoria able to work out of a bases-loaded, no-out jam to keep it at a 5-run game. Weston Penninger back to work on the mound. Came on in relief for Kolak with nobody out, allowed a couple inherited runners to score. So he'll work the 9th. It's a pinch hitter. Dylan Osborne will come on to bat for Crossland in the 8th spot. So Penninger trying to keep it where it's at. And it's still a long way to go, of course, for the Lefties, a 5-run game. But from what we've seen the past couple of days, Port Angeles, they can put up some crooked numbers, especially late.
They can. Without a doubt, this game is far from over. They're down to their final 3 outs, but anything can happen.
Swing and a miss on that one. Good pitch by Penninger, 1 quick out. Only the 6th time that we've seen a Harbor Cats player strike out.
That's incredible when you think about it. They always find ways to put the ball in play or some creative way to reach base. That's why they're so good. They're able to keep everyone going.
Yeah, and the Lefties pitching staff has been around the plate. Good curveball right there. I mean, even Nelson back in the 1st. I mean, he wasn't wild. He was just, I don't know what it was. Maybe the Harbor Cats had something on him. He was tipping something, but they were just hitting everything, a ton off of him. Here's the 1-1. High 2-1 the count.
The Harbor Cats were cashing in early, no doubt about it. They've slowed down a little bit, but they have tacked on some insurance runs late.
That one's lifted high in the air, short right field. Zach Kim goes out. Alsop is in, and it's Zach Kim who makes the call in the catch. So 2 quick outs for Penninger. And we'll flip over to the top of the order. It'll be Dumanil.
That's what you need for the Lefties. Quick outs just to get back to the 9th inning. And hopefully, in their case, pick up where you left off by getting runners on base.
Well, Nick is 2 for 5 tonight. Single to open that 6-run first inning. Comes up empty right there. Also a base hit in the 5th. Yeah, that's an Energizer Bunny kind of player right there. Just all sorts of athletic, speed, hitting the ball to all fields. I knew that was a player to watch coming in. He'll be fun to watch this entire three-day stretch.
Oh, without question.
That's high 2-1. Especially love to see him get to play in the field a little bit. I mean, my goodness, the guy like Michael Crossland, and say if he ends up being in an outfield spot, that'd be quite an outfield to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you have Cayley and Wright, some of the throws we saw from him. I mean, goodness, you talk about some athletes.
Oh, they're stacked with depth, as we've said before. This team is built to win.
That curveball's at the knees, so Dumanil will have to started his way to first. Kind of tiptoed around home plate a little bit. Also settle back in with a 3-2 count, 2 outs, nobody on in the top of the 9th. Here's the pitch from Penninger. That one's at the knees for a called strike 3. Dumanil not happy with the calls. He tosses his bat aside in disgust. Well, 1-2-3 go the Harbor Cats in their half of the 9th. Lefties, one final opportunity coming up, trailing by 5. the last chance for the Lefties coming up. They trail 12-7 in the home half of the ninth. Saw the Lefties bat around just an inning ago, plating 3 in the 8th, and they were able to get the bases loaded and keep it that way with nobody out. So even with it being a 5-run game, it's not necessarily over, especially if Lefties able to get a couple of guys on base.
Oh, it's far from over. If there's anything we've picked up on in these first few series, it's their ability to overcome early adversity and make some late noise.
So a new pitcher, Ryan Magdick, come out of the bullpen, 6'5", 240-pound left-hander out of Beamsville, Ontario. He's ahead of Kuster 0-1. Fans not happy with that one. Kuster singled to start that 3-run 8th inning. So he's 1 for 4. A good curve. That ball's ripped and caught by the first baseman, Davis. That ball was knuckling all sorts of ways. Davis able to stick with it. For the second straight time, Kuster able to hit it hard. That time, not going his way.
A quick first out, and that ball was just hit straight at Davis. A good way to get your first out and limit any kind of rally for these lefties.
It brings up Jacob Billings. Boy, he's had himself a night. Solo home run, a couple more singles. He's 3 for 4. Oh, an opportunity for a 4-hit game. First that we'd see. A big rip at that one. He comes up empty. I mean, Jacob, he's seen the ball really well. Traded some time a little bit with Piper Sick. Seems like he's going to be the regular guy in center field, and he's showing us why tonight. He's behind 0-2, though. Not pleased at that call. So 0-2 the count. 1 out, nobody on in the ninth. At 0-2, a late swing that time by Billings. Good fastball up in the zone. So the lefties now down to their final out. It's left to Zach Kim.
So far, the exact opposite outcome as the 8th inning. 2 very quick outs, and the Harbour Cats looking to steal game 1 on the road.
So Zach Kim reached on an error his last time up. Part of an ugly 2-error 8th inning for Victoria. A curveball in there for strike 1. That one sprayed foul, 0-2 the count.
Lefties down to their final strike.
Now look, I'll say this. I mentioned it earlier, Griff. The lefties able to put some runs on the board late. Make things interesting in the 8th inning just for a little bit. It could serve pretty well momentum-wise going into these next couple days. Here's the 0-2 at 2 out. Swung on and missed. Kim goes down on 3 pitches. Ryan Magdick able to shut the door. So Victoria Harbour Cats come into Civic Field, able to take game 1 of this 3-game series. They're able to get back on track after losing 3 in a row in Wenatchee. The Harbour Cats able to improve to 7-3 this season. The lefties fall to 2-8. That's it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Griff McClellan. We'll be right back here on the local access station as well as the West Coast League app. Tomorrow night, 6:35, first pitch. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody.